Kelley, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Okay, Kelley, take me back to that time na dun sa kwento mo, no, in your speech, na parang you had this day na parang hindi mo siya pinapansin, and then all of a sudden biglang ang dami-dami ng hair ang natatanggal sa'yo. Paano nangyari yun? Kailan nangyari to?
October 2018, when I first found like my alopecia, which was the size of a coin. It was on the back of my head. I just felt it lang, and then I felt something was very smooth in my hair. And then when I checked in the mirror and I had to take a photo from behind, I saw that there was like, a circle of hair missing. So I freaked out. I called my dad. He said, "What's happening to me? Is all my hair falling out?" And he told me to search on Google alopecia. So when I searched it, I thought, okay, this is like a condition that people have. I never knew. And I guess I was told, like, just don't think about it, don't stress. Because I was going through something very stressful. Like, parang me and my boyfriend at the time were fighting. And I was like so emotional and work stuff. It was just like all at once. And I think that kind of triggered it. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna stress about these things anymore. Whatever happens, happens.
No way, lumaki ng ganyang kalaki. Yeah. Hindi mo napansin.
I never noticed it, never thought about it. Kasi nasa likod talaga siya. And I was like in shock. So I went to see a doctor eventually, and the doctor told me I should get a blood test muna to see if there's any underlying causes. Kasi minsan everyone gets stressed, right? But not everyone gets alopecia. So baka there's an imbalance in your vitamins or sa hormones, or baka may autoimmune condition. So there's plenty of causes that could relate to why you have alopecia. So it's important not just to fix the hair, but to figure out what's going on. If there's anything else that needs addressing medically. So because I hate blood tests, my doctor said, you know what, take your time. Whenever you're ready, here's the prescription for your blood test. Whenever you're ready, do it. I never felt ready, but there was a point na parang I need to really fix this, kasi I was working that time. I was doing pageants na I was doing mga teleserye, and it was very difficult to cover, and I was still hiding it at the time. Di pa ako nag-public about it. So I decided, I think it's time I do this blood test, kasi by that time it's the size of my hand na, like,
so,
the typical
lumalaki siya.
Yeah. Okay. It was actually naging tatlo, but then they all grew and then all became one. Parang siyang world map. And then all the countries come together. So yeah, eventually I did my blood test. I found that I have vitamin D deficiency, which is actually what my doctor predicted, because that's very common now, especially if you're working indoors a lot. That even if you have an office job, you're deficient in vitamin D because that comes from the sun. And you need like a really big boost of it. So I started taking supplements. And then I started my treatment, which was a microneedling treatment, which was very expensive. But
very painful.
Well, for the one that I chose, kasi the reason why it's so expensive is because I wanted a painless treatment, because I hate needles, diba? So the treatment I had was not the typical alopecia treatment that you can get in any clinic. It was microneedling, and we had anesthesia and everything. So for me, it was quite a, relaxing experience, as much as my doctor could make it for me. And I had to do treatments every few weeks. And I think a few months later, pandemic hit. So, syempre, all the clinics got closed. And luckily, I had done enough treatments prior to the pandemic that it stimulated the hair growth. So by the end of the pandemic, or let's say like 1 or 2 years na since pandemic started, my hair was fully grown back. Kaso lang last year, I also went through some stress. So then, after a few months, I saw that I got alopecia again. And for me, it's like a reminder. My body's telling me, parang you need to slow down. You need to look after yourself a bit more. So what works for me is not being angry about it or not hating it. It's more like, it is a part of me, and it's a part of me that's looking out for me. Na at least it's not a condition that, that puts me in hospital or disables me. I'm still able to do all the things that I do in my life. But yeah, it's just like an indication that you need to look after your health, maybe take your supplements.
I confided to you that my sister had alopecia, mild alopecia, when she was pregnant. And my husband, actually, I don't know if it's genetics kasi, yung dad niya had, yung thinning and then nawawala na yung hair and then ganun na rin siya. Okay, it's probably a lot of people will say na parang buhok lang yan, doesn't really matter. Pero I've seen them I've seen how it affected their self-confidence. And
absolutely. Nung naging public ako about it, there was, because I did it during my pageant advocacy. So there was a video of me talking openly admitting about my alopecia, and it was my first time. So I was crying. It was a very raw and emotional moment for me. And it was posted online. I think GMA News posted it. And then may nagko-comment na buhok lang yan, OA naman siya, buhok lang naman, will grow back. And that did dishearten me for a little bit. But I guess I try to give the benefit of the doubt na parang imagine if it wasn't me that had alopecia, let's say my friend. Baka I would also think, it's just hair. But when it happens to you, ang scary part is you don't know when is it gonna stop? Like, until what point is your hair gonna grow back, or will it ever grow back? And I think that everyone spends a lot of time on their hair. We shower, we style our hair. It makes us feel confident. It makes us look good. It changes our look a lot. Like if I have my hair like this right now, like I think I look younger. But then if I do like this, I look a little more sultry or older.
It's actually everybody's crowning glory,
Yeah. You treat your hair like a part of your body. And imagine losing a limb, like an arm or a leg. And maybe it's not as like physically painful, but emotionally you don't know how it might impact that person talaga. Until until you've been through it, you can't say how bad it really is. And I guess like one important thing for me that I learned is when you open up and become an advocate or join a community for it, you really feel like I'm not alone pala. Like there are people that have a worse condition than me, but I still see that they're doing the things they love to do. They still look beautiful. So why can't I? And that's where I gained my confidence actually in the community.
Pero nung time na nakakaranas ka nung alopecia, how did it affect you? Ano ang mga nangyari sa iyo nung time na yun? Anong mga iniisip mo?
Naisip ko, kailangan ko mag-back out sa pageant first.
Like it was that bad?
Yeah, kasi I thought, like I'm gonna lose all my hair, siguro. How can I get ready every day and I have to put the extensions, I have to cover it up. And it was getting very difficult to cover up na kahit anong hairstyle. Hindi ko siya ma-cover talaga. And I was also embarrassed sa mga hairstylists sa work ko that if they see it or if other mga artista, kasi dressing room, sometimes there are other artistas passing by and then may nag-hair sa akin, hairstyle sa akin, and then baka makita nila. So I'm like,
so nahihiya ka nung time na yon?
Sometimes, yeah, I would try. But I had my father was like someone that really encouraged me to be brave about it. since he was the first person I told. And then he actually suggested to me nung nagpa-pageant ako. This was Miss World Philippines 2019, my first pageant. He told me I should shave my head and then just not even worry about it. You know, like stop trying to cover it up, stop trying to hide it. Shave your head and just wear that crown. And I was, oh, hang on, like not yet, because I still have a lot of hair, but it's just, he was the one that encouraged me to advocate for alopecia awareness. Because the plano ko actually was to advocate for animal rescue, which is something also I'm passionate about. That's why I have this rescue kit in here. I love animals and, you know, helping strays. But yeah, my dad said try something more personal and relevant in this time for you. So yeah, it was something that really was holding me back in terms of my confidence and ability to work. And then I ended up using it in my work. And yeah, it gave me a lot more confidence. Yeah.
And I'm sure all through the years, you've met a lot of people who were going through the same thing. And I know you've reached out to them. Ano yung mga sinasabi nila sa'yo, Kelley?
Dami nag-reach out sa akin. Even mga friends that message me and they say like, hey, you're the only person that I know that's had this. So can you advise me? What should I do? Mostly it's advice. Like, anong treatments, anong shampoo ginagamit ko, or mga things like that. How to maintain it and control it. Things like that. I get messages on like Instagram or even personal messages from friends. And even when I meet people, like, you know, when I met you and we were talking about it, either that person I'm talking to also had it before, or they know someone and, you know, we share stories about it. Pero ang weird lang, kasi sa family ko, wala. It's just actually just...
So, ikaw lang talaga?
Just me. I'm the chosen one. Pero my father has some autoimmune conditions, and alopecia is considered an autoimmune condition. So siguro it was like a hereditary, genetically that I got it. I got autoimmunity from him. Pero yung symptoms ko is different to him. My symptom is hair loss. Sa kanya may skin conditions. So may parang sometimes if you have a doctor, they can look at your family history and try to, I guess, indicate where anong cause or saan galing yung hair loss, ganon. So, I'm a girl. I'm still young, 26 lang ako, and I got it when I was maybe 22, 23.
Wow.
Very unusual for someone of my age and my gender to get hair loss like that. So yeah, I think siguro genetic siya.
So, okay, the first thing that you should do pag nakita mo na, okay, I'm having a bald spot somewhere in my head. Ano ba to? You should consult a doctor na bagad, or pakiramdaman mo muna baka it's going to grow back, or ano ba?
Siguro depends on the individual. Kasi pag fresh siya, new, it would be difficult for the doctor to determine if your hair will be able to grow back or hindi. Kasi may cases of alopecia, may klaseng alopecia that your hair will be permanently gone. And the doctor will be able to see that if there's no hair growth. But if the doctor can notice na parang other signs of hair growth, and that usually comes after, let's say, like a month of your hair coming out, then they can say, okay, looks like your hair will grow back, so we can begin treatment. So that's one thing to consider. It's not necessarily na the doctor can tell you kaagad that your hair is gonna grow back and it won't grow any longer, grow any bigger. There's actually sa alopecia, it's very unpredictable. Yun ang medyo scary thing about alopecia. You don't know when it will stop. So for me, I guess I would, if I have awareness about alopecia and it happens to me, I might wait like a few weeks, just monitor it, see if it's getting worse or kung same size lang siya, like take pictures and then compare. And if you feel like it's getting worse, it's probably a good idea to consult with a doctor. It's such a very common condition that any dermatologist or clinic will be aware of it, and they've seen it so many times, so no need to be shy.
And I was reading about it, sabi nga nila, like parang, in the superficial side of it, the cosmetic side of things, it's just hair, you can actually just, parang, dead man na kung nakalbo ko, especially like parang 'di ba for men, they would just shave their heads. So kasi ang sinasuggest ng mga doctors is, after a while na nakikita mo it's really growing, you should consult a doctor because it could be a sign, it could be a symptom of something.
Yes, I would always suggest to see a doctor. I guess I want to consider that not all listeners or viewers of the podcast have the means to go for a checkup or to have the money to do that, kasi minsan mahal siya. Depends where you go, but it's subjective, maybe people have other priorities with their money. So I guess a more affordable option, like don't need to go kaagad to a doctor to see unless you see na parang it's really getting worse. Siguro yun, that's indication that maybe there's an underlying problem. Kasi may kilala din ako, like, even my hairstylists, they say like, yeah, I had alopecia. It was like, sa kanila kasi parang coin size lang. And maybe there's 2 or 3. And then after a few months, it's back to normal na.
It grows back.
Yeah, so parang, my condition was very different. Parang mine got worse and worse. Sa kanila, it was like, it just grew back. It was like, how many years ago, and then never happened again. And I guess I can't say for sure, but siguro it was just a momentarily like imbalance in their system, or baka na-stress lang sila. So I guess if you see that it is a bit more serious than most cases, then
well, that's a good case, kung ganon. Kung halimbawa stress-related lang and probably you can reverse it. Pero ang nakakatakot nga nun is stressed ka na nga and probably you have something in your body, you don't know how your body works, and it's telling you via hair loss na, hey, you should see a doctor because there's something going on in the body.
Symptom talaga siya kasi when we say autoimmunity or autoimmune response or autoimmune condition, ang ibig sabihin nun is your immune system, the system that protects you, protects your body, is reacting to something that it's not supposed to react to. So in the case of alopecia, your immune system is actually telling your body na yung hair follicles mo, yung root ng buhok na strands, it's thinking that that's actually a danger to you. That's why it's like killing the hair follicles.
Yeah, it lets it go. It kills the follicles, For me, kasi I had all of my conditions checked, all of my autoimmune conditions. So we're talking about lupus, we're talking MS, which multiple sclerosis, ulcerative colitis. There's more than 80 different autoimmune diseases. Fortunately, I was negative at that time for all of them. But yeah, for some it could be a symptom nga. Alopecia can be a symptom of one of those more serious conditions then. Hopefully not, but it's a possibility. I always try to listen to my body na, and not get angry at it, I guess. Or not stress some more, diba?
Yeah. There's no, your body's telling you to slow down at something or to stop something.
Kelley, how are you now? Of course, fast forward to now, kamusta ka na? Meron ka pa bang alopecia or it has grown back to yung original itsura ng hair mo?
May bagong alopecia ako since last year. Nung nagkasakit yung dad ko, and then I developed like a panic disorder. which we also talked about when we met a few weeks ago. And that's very, like, I think the most difficult time for me of my entire life. And I kind of expected na parang, okay, I know I've been stressing a lot. I think in a few months I might see some alopecia. And after a few months, I finally felt it. Like, okay, there it is. I knew it was coming. And I went to a doctor straight away. Pero like what I said, the doctor, although she already knows me, so we didn't do a blood test anymore. But she was not able to really tell at the time if this is gonna get worse or if it's gonna grow back or not. And we did a treatment, which was, I spent like 10,000 on my treatment, but it was very small pa lang. And it didn't really have an effect because apparently it was too early. So now it's around this size, I think.
Now?
Yeah, at the back, very back. I'm very fortunate that it's always at the back. So mas madali siya i-cover.
And women can grow hair na ganyang kahaba, no? To cover it.
And there's mga hairstyles you can do to, I guess, cover it easily. But it's actually sometimes difficult. I'm so limited to what hair I can do. Pero may mga hair extensions, and ang ginagamit ko din is like isang spray na it's like a black color for hair, for root. So I use it to cover up my alopecia if I want to keep my hair down and like moving, so that I'm not scared that it will like suddenly show it. So there's ways that I work around it depending on what I'm doing for that day. But yeah, I still have it. I'm doing my treatments now under derm clinic, and okay naman din yung treatment nila. It's a little bit more painful, but much more affordable. And medyo sanay na ako sa scalp treatments. So that's what I'm doing. And I actually saw there's already hair growing back na. Parang may hair that is coming back, tumatubo na. Pero there's also hair still falling out on the other side of it.
But emotionally, how does it affect you ngayon?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm really okay with it. Like, I guess I'm still shy to show it. Like, I don't show it in public. I still cover it up. But to my friends and family, like, if we're talking about it, I show them. Usually they get like so gulat because they don't expect na ganun pala yung hair ko. Which I guess it's kind of like overwhelming when you first, see it. But yeah, emotionally I'm okay. Actually, my mom just called me the other day. Sabi niya, did you do your next treatment na? Kasi supposed to be every 2 weeks. Sabi ko, oh, I forgot. Sige, I'll book it. She's like, you need to book it now. She's like, it scares me to see your hair like that. Sabi ko, it scares you, but I'm actually chill with it. I take it very lightly, and I think that's just something I learned to deal with it in not a stressful or negative way.
So unlike the first time, mas okay ka na ngayon?
Yeah, pero my mom is the one. Syempre, when you see your daughter.
Yeah, of course.
Her hair. And my mom is very into like health and beauty. So she's freaking out I don't like to show it to her because I know that it triggers her emotionally, actually, more than myself. Sobrang worried niya for me, especially all that I went through last year. Parang my mental illness, medications. I think there was just a lot. So she's just concerned, parang if she sees my hair's falling out, she's like always asking me like, are you okay? Are you stressed? This cat that I have that I rescued, medyo naging stress ako sa kanya kasi she had some illnesses also. She had to have surgery. So I was telling my mom na parang I'm so stressed with this cat. But she's doing okay, but I have to be like give her medication every 12 hours. Ganun. My mom said, "Oh, don't stress. Your hair might fall out." So I was like, "Yeah, I know. Don't." Yung laging iniisip niya, like if I'm stressing, maybe my hair will fall out.
Kelley, okay, I might be wrong about this. Are you doing a sabbatical on showbiz? Kasi parang I haven't really seen you in a while. Good thing nagkita tayo dun sa event and I saw you. Hindi nga kita nakilala because of your hair.
Wasn't really a choice. I felt like at the time that I stopped, wala akong option to work because I was dealing with my a panic disorder and anxiety disorder and all of that. Like it really hit me that parang I couldn't go out, I couldn't drive, I couldn't leave my condo. I was just having panic attacks. I should probably give a trigger warning. I don't know. Trigger warning kasi when I was trigger warning about, about panic attacks or anxiety disorders kasi I remember when I was going through it at the worst, anything that I read online that was like said the word anxiety, it would trigger like having a panic attack, and I would vomit, like I couldn't eat. I was so totally disabled talaga, like really disabled from doing anything.
Debilitating.
Yes, super. Like I really thought that I was like not myself. I thought I have to go to a mental hospital. I was so scared about that. But through therapy and medication and just taking time out and taking my time with going back to normal life. It took a year. Like it's been more than a year now, but it took around, I'd say about 10 months for me to say na parang I'm okay now. But it was 10 months of really not knowing what I was gonna do in my life anymore because I couldn't do anything. Parang, do I have to move back to England? Do I have to live with my family again? Most days I would just try to sleep because if I'm awake, I would be panicking. I don't know how to
Stop
calm
it.
Yeah, I couldn't. It's so difficult to explain, but well, I had a therapist that really helped me also to just recover, but it was such a slow process. And nung sabi ng doctor sa akin, ng therapist sa akin, that it will take about 1 year, I started crying a lot because I said, I can't. I have work. I have like commitments to this. I'm supposed to do this show in a month. I'm supposed to sign this contract. Like, I can't be out for a year. They said, you just have to you have to take that year out and focus on your life.
Mental health.
I stopped everything, all commitments I had. I just told everyone in my work na parang I need some time off and I'll let you know if I'm ready to go back.
The reason why humaba yung conversation natin nung time na yon is I also confided to you kasi sinabi mo nga sa akin yung anxiety attacks mo, yung panic attacks mo, and I also told you na parang during the pandemic, especially nung lockdown, I developed this panic attacks na hindi ko pa alam nung time na yun na panic attacks yun.
Yes.
And for a while, di ba, sinabi ko sa'yo, I stayed away from social media kasi every time may makikita ako na yung magpo-post ng candle or black na background, it triggers me. And then all of a sudden, my heart would be racing and then yun na. So, my whole day is shut. My whole day will not, I cannot function anymore for the whole day. And buti na lang nung time na yon naka-lockdown and you're just at home. So I try to, to do my work. I still try to do my interviews kasi nga 'di ba nung time na yon sa Zoom lang talaga.
Yes.
Pero hindi alam ng mga tao and only very close people to me know na nangyayari sa akin yon. But I was so scared and I was so ashamed to admit it to people. Until of late, sinabi ko, no, I have to tell my friends. I have to tell my family. And kasi, di ba parang takot ako nung time na yun. Baka sabihin nila, nababaliw ka na. Sabihin nila na parang umaarte ka lang. Baka sabihin nila na parang, and I really hate it when people tell me na parang, just relax. Or just pray. Or just, maybe you're losing your connection to the Lord. And I do not dismiss that. Kasi, parati ko sinasabi nung time na yun, parang I pray. In fact, I was more religious that time. I was more spiritual that time because I felt that I was in need, but it did not stop.
Yeah. What was it that helped you?
I talked to a lot of doctor friends. And sabi nila, if you're scared to take medications, maybe, alamin natin kung ano yung trigger mo. And it so happened na parang may mga days na hindi ako kakain ng ganito. Alam mo, hindi ako kakain ng seafood for a week. Hindi ako kakain ng meat for a week. Just to know kung ano yung nagtitrigger sa kanya. It could also be, kasi sabi nila, it could also be diet eh. So, nung time na yun, I was really so into coffee. Of course, I mean, a lot of people love coffee and I'm really one of them. So sabi ng doctor, okay, turn na to, Nelson, na, tanggalin muna natin ang caffeine. Sabi ko, caffeine is good for me. I just have 2 cups a day. Like, of course, I have 6 cups. Like, but sabi niya, hindi, let's try to drink decaffeinated. And let's see what happens. So, one day, turn to 2 days, and then 1 week, and then 1 month na akong hindi nag-caffeine. And then 2 months, 3 months nang hindi nagka-caffeine. And naramdaman ko na parang nababawasan yung panic attacks ko. In fact, on the 3rd month, parang ang feeling ko, halos wala na siya. Na, I can control it na, like parang if it's going to, parang it's just a passing thought. And then, okay na siya. So, the best thing, kung hindi mo na makontrol yung nararamdaman mo, I would suggest, consult a professional, consult a doctor, because pag hindi mo kaya, merong tutulong sa'yo. I mean, I cannot say that I'm 100% panic anxiety free, panic attack free or anxiety free, but ngayon kasi I can somehow control it. Like what I said, it becomes a passing thought, and then sometimes I pray, sometimes, nililibang ko yung sarili ko, sometimes I just focus on something really good, something positive, para at least mawala siya sa isip ko. And it works sometimes. And sometimes I just cry it out. And my partner would, dati he doesn't know how to deal with it and he doesn't know how to react to it, but now he knows. And I also read about it na parang touch works. That's why it's called touch therapy. And it worked for me. And I feel so blessed, I feel so lucky that it works for me.
Yes.
And I would always say this, consult a professional, consult a doctor. May tutulong sa'yo.
Ako, I'm so such an advocate also for consulting in a psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist. Because I think that's really what saved my life also at the time. Because even the people that love me and care for me, especially that time, they can't understand what I'm going through. And me also, I can't understand. I don't blame them. But the reality is they don't know how to give me an idea of how to fix what's going wrong in my mind. And I was so in denial, I don't want to talk to a doctor. I'm not crazy, I'm not mentally ill. And yeah, apparently it was just really scary. So for me, it was only the doctor that was able to say, this is what you're going through, this is what it's called. There's a word for it because you're not the only one. There's a medical term for it, and there's medication that is created to help your particular condition. And it's kind of like alopecia, where you feel a comfort knowing that you're not the only one in the world that feeling this way. Kasi parang you feel crazy, parang you feel like something's wrong with you. No one can understand. Pero meron naman. There's someone.
Definitely. Definitely. And we should normalize that. We should normalize seeking help from a professional, seeking help. Kahit na sabihin mo, kaibigan mo lang.
Yes.
Talk about it. Don't be scared. It could save your life.
Ever since, because I'm public, I guess, about my mental illness, but I haven't really like gone full public about my story. So parang I talk about it here and there on my Instagram. I've had friends that are also in the industry, either sa showbiz or sa modeling or sa, I guess, social media influencers that have reached out to me asking for like advice because they think they have like anxiety, depression, mga ganon. And I try to give some advice, but I also know I can't really understand their condition because I was never depressed. My condition's different to them, and I don't want to give advice that's wrong. So I always refer my therapist kasi ang galing ng therapist ko. Mahal siya, but for me, I said, if you have the means, he's really worth it, I promise. So out of how many of my friends that I referred my therapist to, none of them yet, it's been months, year, none of them have actually pushed through with seeking that help. And it's difficult because I want to push it, but at the same time, I have to let them take their time. Like, I'm so glad that despite the stigma that I had towards it, I was forced with my condition to seek help. And I think I'm like at my happiest mentally, physically, emotionally that I've ever been in my whole independent life, which is like 8 years since I started working in the Philippines.
Like what I said, no, it could save your life.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? I cannot stress it enough. It could save your life. You know, Kelley, thank you very much for sharing all these. I'm sure it took a lot of courage for you to share all this. Pero thank you very much kasi maraming makaka-relate dito, maraming makakaintindi.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like my last word would be like, the bravest people are the ones that are not afraid to seek help. Just because you're brave doesn't mean you do everything on your own. You're brave, you're willing, if you're able to ask for help. Kasi
that's true.
That's the bravest thing talaga. So I would probably leave it at that. And also, I want to thank you also for this opportunity to talk about our story. Yeah,
Kelley,
so
I normally end a podcast by turning the tables around. I've been asking you questions kanina pa. Maybe you would like to ask me anything.
Oh my gosh. Does it have anything?
Anything at all.
What's the number one thing that you love most about I was gonna say jowa, but about your work muna.
About my work.
Yeah.
Okay. My work keeps me young. I'm already 53, but I don't feel like I'm 53. I feel like 30 years younger. I feel like I'm in my 20s. Kasi you see a lot of people every day. You see a lot of beautiful people every day. You see a lot of positive. Ngayon kasi I just focus on the positives eh. Like, katulad mo, like parang, di ba, nung time na yon, I interviewed you. Pero what comes after the interview made me love my job more. See, I mean, that's free therapy talking to you that time. And it made me, I mean, kahit na anong sabihin mo, it made me feel like you're my friend.
Yeah.
Na parang, ang dami kong kaibigan sa industry. And I know it's cliche na parang friends ko silang lahat, pero hindi. I only love a few. I only cherish a few people, and yung few na yun, marami yun.
Mm.
And you're one of them.
Thank you. Aw, that's so sweet. You know, after our event, the first thing I told my boyfriend after was, "You won't believe it. I met someone that went through, and we had this amazing discussion, and I ended up missing because we were talking outside of the event. When I came back in, I missed the speeches of the doctors and everything."
And it was well worth it. It was so worth it. Like, I felt like, ang feeling ko nga nung time na yon, sandali lang tayo nag-usap, pero ang tagal na pala nating nag-uusap.
Yeah. Kasi we didn't expect, obviously, but there was just so much that both of us had to share. And I actually took a lot of your advice from your experience. I took it also to heart.
Well,
So,
continue to be happy, Kelley. You have a friend here.
yes. So
Thank you
have
very much for sharing all this. I hope to see you very soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Let's text. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't know texted. I just checked. I typed your name now in my message. I have your number now. So, yeah, let's keep in touch.
Let's keep in touch. Thank you very much. Let's have coffee sometime, Dika. Thank you
I know.
very much, Kelley.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.